Hello, I'm Kristen O'Connor. This is a Hatha yoga practice that will be grounding and hip opening, leg charging, and relaxing. I'm going to have you use a towel today. So I just grabbed just a bath towel. And you might choose to sit on it if you want to start. That's where we're going to begin. Just coming into your seat. You can sit with your legs crossed or And the idea is to be comfortable. To let this pose be easy. We might even make a little movement of our pelvis forward and back, trying to feel where the tailbone presses back into the floor. And as you're pressing the tailbone back into the floor, we sort of feel ourselves plug into the earth. We're connecting with that loving support, that Mother Earth energy. As you're inhaling, you're drawing that sense of love and support all the way up through the spine, so that each vertebrae supports each other in that loving way. As you exhale, the tailbone plugs back into the earth. And we feel that sense of reaching down, being connected. Drawing that energy up as you inhale. Feeling the support of vertebrae upon vertebrae, creating your best posture. Exhale, grounding. Reaching down into your seat. One more breath here. And now from your base, I want you to chant the mantra Om, as though you could let it vibrate into the earth beneath you. And just mentally vibrating Om, letting it empty out into your seat, into the earth beneath you. Blessing this space that you're in. One more time. And now as we feel that broadness to our base, let's draw up through the vertical line of the spine and start to envision the Om emanating from the crown of the head into the celestial world, into the universe. So now mentally vibrating Om, we're sending that vibration up, out of the top of the head, out through the roof of our room, as far as you would like to carry it. And a gentle shower of sparkles descends from the heavens all around you, illuminating this space. Bringing your palm to palm. Feel a sense of gratitude for this space, this time that you've given yourself to practice. being one. I'm going to invite you to come onto your back to start today. But you know what? Let's roll up our towel. So I'm going to take my towel and I've folded it short end to short end so that there's one folded edge and then kind of the open edge. And I'll try to get it so you guys can see it. So I have the folded edge and then I have the open edge, and I'm going to roll from the folded edge all the way to the open edge. And then I'm going to set it on my mat. I'm going to bring my tailbone just onto it, and then I'm going to try to get the rest of my spine on it as well. If you feel like it's not quite long enough, feel free to grab an extra cushion for underneath the head. Try to get your spine into a nice line. And let's let the arms come down alongside the body. My tailbone is plugging gently back into the earth. And if it feels like it's uncomfortable, zip up the abdomen, balance it out. Right? We're pressing down into the tailbone. We're drawing up through the tummy. Let's let the arms sweep out to the sides and up. We can invite an inhale and then exhale. Let the arms come out to the sides and down. And we're just emphasizing the movement through the heart, through the shoulders. One more breath, letting the arms sweep like snow angel arms. When the arms come down, let them relax in a comfortable position, a little bit wide from the body. Feel the tailbone plug down into the earth. And feel that radiant, sort of loving energy from the earth being drawn up into your open heart. So I'm exhaling, kind of feeling where I connect into the earth through my hips, ribs, and head. And then as I'm inhaling, I'm drawing that loving, supportive energy up into my body, into my open heart. And I'm going to let that energy come into my throat. Let's do a little bit of exhaling with a ha sound. And it could just be more like a sigh, right? Make it your own. Soften into the rolled up towel. As you inhale, we feel that energy moving forward into the body. Exhale, we release into the earth. We reach down even into the earth. One more. And then I'm going to roll onto my side. Come off the towel and pull it out from underneath me and just return to my back. And just notice how the body feels, right? Suddenly I feel like there is a whole lot more space around my spine. And I'm able to connect with the floor a little bit more because there's greater surface area, right? More of my body, more of my tissue is actually on the earth, and I can really feel that connection. Now take your towel and unroll it. Let's hug the knees in. You can just bring your towel around your knees, do some circles. And feel that sense of pressing down into the tailbone and feeling where the movement's really occurring through the hips, somewhat through the sacrum, the lower back. If it feels good, you want to hug the knees in and even nod your chin and just curl the forehead to the knees. You could do that, activating the abdominals. We breathe into the back. You can exhale again with the ha. plugging the tailbone into the earth. I'm trying to let my tailbone stay down. Flex from the waist. One more. And then lower the upper body. Lower the left foot only. Take your time drawing the left leg out into a nice straight line. And let's bring the towel over the right foot. And I'm just going to rub my towel over my foot, kind of stimulate my foot. I could pull back on the toes a little bit with the towel. I like that the towel actually can cover my whole foot. I'm going to kind of bring it to my arch. So it's in the center of my foot. And then as I press down into my left leg, I'm going to bring my right arch over the right hip and just start to press into the towel a little bit. I'm bending the knee deeply, keeping the arch of the foot over the hip. I'm pulling into the strap with my arms, and my leg is going to push up into the strap. Just a little bending of the knee. I'm not quite straightening it. I want to get my leg to tremble a little bit. I want to find that right resistance. And then I'm going to keep some sense of stability in the left leg. Keep that left hip down. Plug the tailbone into the earth. Let's take both ends of the towel into the right hand for a moment and open that right leg to the right. And we'll just be here for a few breaths, trying to find that tailbone again. Can we plug the tailbone back into the earth? Maybe we even feel that sense of pulling the left hip down. And just relax that right leg a little bit more. Another 3 breaths here. Sometimes that's how I continue in a yoga pose, that I'm not sure I can sustain it, and I think, oh, just 3 more breaths, just 3 more breaths. And then I think, oh, I can do 3 more breaths. Okay, 3 breaths at a time, maybe just 1 breath at a time. However we get through, right? And then let's use the right arm to bring that right leg up. And you might guess we're going to go to the other side. And I want to plug my tailbone down into the earth. My right knee does not have to be straight, but I'd like the arch of my foot to be vertical over my hip. And then I'm going to activate my left leg and turn my left toes to the left and push into that left pinky toe edge. Let that right hip reach towards your left foot. My right arm stays behind. And I'm aware of that tailbone drawing back, maybe towards the back of my skull. And just breathing, breath by breath, we stay here. We invite a new sensation. One more breath. And when that right leg comes up, you can hold the towel with your hands and draw the arch of your foot over your shoulder. Press the left inner thigh down, getting that hamstring stretch. The tailbone is still on the earth. And then release that right leg. And you could just stretch both legs out, or you could have both knees bent, feet on the floor. It's sort of what's up to you, or what's right for you, and it's up to you to decide. And be in your body. Notice what you're feeling. Can we develop some sensory vocabulary here? How does the right hip feel? Does it feel open, unlocked, like energy is flowing through it? How does it feel, right? Like maybe an open channel. Maybe we've just activated that channel to our leg. And the longer we stay, the more it kind of fades. So let's go to the other side. I'm going to hug both knees in again. I might bring my towel around my knees. Plug the tailbone into the earth. Release the right leg. And I'm going to bring the towel around the sole of my left foot. And I'm just going to rub the left foot with my towel. I love it. I kind of have cold feet. So this is lovely. I get to warm up my feet a little bit. And then I'm going to bring the towel mostly into the arch of my foot and try to bring the arch of my foot over the left hip. And I'm going to create some resistance here with the towel, and I'm just pressing into the towel, keeping my knee bent, keeping the tailbone plugged into the earth. That right leg stays pressed back into the earth. So I'm pushing into the towel and then kind of backing off. And I want to find the right resistance to get a little bit of a tremble, a little quake going into that left leg, right? I'm just adding load to the muscles. Pressing into that left foot. And then I'm going to find my tailbone and again anchor it, plug it into the earth. My right hip is going to stay pressed back into the earth. And I'm going to open the leg to the left. So I just brought my towel into my left hand. And I'm checking in with that tailbone. Trying to relax into it a little bit. Last 3 breaths. And then slowly bringing the leg back up. Now I'm going to keep my tailbone pressing down. And I'm going to activate my right leg, turning my right knee and toes to the right. And as I turn my right knee and toes to the right, I keep that right pinky toe edge engaging into the floor. And that left hip comes towards the right foot as we bring the leg across the body. And we get that nice stretch all the way through the outer hip, maybe the even outer thigh area as we relax. And the tailbone comes towards the back of the head. Few more breaths. And then slowly coming back up. And just pausing. You could hold both sides of the towel with your hands. Bring your left foot over your left shoulder. Tailbone stays pressed into the earth. And bending the left knee. You can decide how you want to position yourself for rest. Because it's a little bit of work to hold the towel for my hands, I like to do a little undulation for the hands. I think of it being like an octopus walking on the bottom of the ocean, that you want to lead maybe with a thumb, move your hands like you're walking across the ocean. Maybe it feels like a crab walk. Maybe it feels like you could get a little bit more of that undulating feel of the octopus. Just moving the hands around the floor. And then you could relax, turn the palms up for a moment. Now I'm going to invite you to hug your knees in again. Reach your feet up to the ceiling in your hands. Just shake your feet, shake your hands. Shake, shake, shake. You could shake your knees. And then bringing your forehead to your knees, if it's available, roll up and down the spine. Now you also have the option just to hug the knees in and circle the knees. So deciding what's right for you. This is not recommended if you have osteoporosis or any bone degeneration, right? It can be tough on the spine. Thankfully, I have some pretty thick carpeting. And then you can roll onto your side or roll up. And let's come to our hands and knees. Fan the fingers out. Press into that U between the thumb and your index finger. Really plug your hands, your fingers into the earth. I'm going to inhale and reach the right leg back. And exhale. Bring the knee to the forehead. Inhale, reach it back. And exhale to the forehead. Inhale, try to draw your left knee and the heels of your hands towards each other to encourage the sway. And then as you exhale, think about pushing the heel of your hand and your left knee away from each other. Inhale, pulling the three limbs towards each other. Exhale, pushing them away. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then letting that right knee come down. Connect again into the U between the index finger and the thumb. Now let's take the left leg back. And we'll inhale and we'll feel the hands, the knee pulling towards each other. The tailbone comes to the back of the head. And then as you exhale, push the three limbs away from each other, bringing the knee to the forehead. Inhale, pull all three limbs towards each other. Exhale, press the three limbs away from each other. Inhale, pulling that right knee forward, the heel of the hands pull to the knee. Exhale, press them away from each other. Let's do one more. Exhale. And then return to all fours. And continue to feel the U between the thumb and index finger. I'm going to reach my right leg back. Take my left leg out. Now I'm going to inhale, curl up into a ball. And then as I exhale, I'm going to kind of explode out. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, reach out. You can shake your hand, shake your foot. And then return to all fours. Now connect again to the U between your index finger and your thumb. I'm going to reach my left leg back. I'm going to reach my right arm forward. Inhale, bring the elbow to the knee. And then exhale, sort of explode out. 5 more. And then return to all fours. Tuck your toes under. Stretch into the feet. Prepare your toes. Sit back onto your heels if you'd like. Come down onto the forearms. Good. And then let's set ourselves up for down dog. So plug in that U between the thumb and index finger. Lift your hips up and press your 4 limbs out to the 4 corners of your mat. So really try to feel all 4 limbs engaging. And there might be a little bit of movement that happens before you kind of fully arrive. I might bend my knees a little bit. Bend and straighten the elbows a little bit. Let my head hang. One more breath. Right, that exhale with a little ha can just be very calming, very grounding. I encourage you to explore with that. Let's come on to our tummies next, please. So slowly coming down onto the belly, hands come underneath the shoulders. I'm going to keep my fingers wide, elbows stay towards the waist. Inhale, lift through the top of the head. Think small cobra. And then exhale. You can turn a cheek or just bring the forehead to the floor. Inhale again. And I'm pulling back on my hands. So again, it sort of might feel like I'm pulling my thighs and the palms of my hands towards each other as I inhale. And then as I exhale, maybe I'm pushing my hands and my thighs away from each other. We'll do one more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, slide the hands back. Press yourself back. And let's take a little pause in a wide-kneed child's pose. And you have option to turn the palms up if you'd like, or bring your hands underneath your forehead. My big toes came together, my knees are wide. And I'm going to encourage you to stay there for a few breaths while I just check on my technology. Good. Let's take 3 more nice deep breaths. Last breath here. And then let's come up to our hands and knees again. I'm going to turn my fingers out so that I can press into the U between the thumb and index finger. Tuck the toes under. We come into down dog. Now you have the kind of bounciness to your legs. I'm going to lift my right leg up and bounce into my left heel a little bit. So I'm feeling my shoulders are strong, right? My arms stay plugged into the earth through the U, and I'm just gently bouncing my left heel up and down. My right leg, of course, is following that. Let's inhale. And then exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Now I can step my left foot towards my body if I need to. I'm going to turn my left toes out. And then what I want to do is really feel that right knee is going to bend a little bit and straighten, kind of like that pulse we did earlier. I'm not going to fully straighten it, but I'm pushing into the earth. And my left leg, I'm trying to create some resistance with my left leg. So I really want to feel that planting of my left foot. And just take another moment here staying low. And then with my left toes turned out, I'm going to slowly bring my right forearm to my right thigh and just take that left arm up. My right knee is staying bent, and I feel my left foot is creating resistance to my right foot. Right? I feel that connection between my feet. My right foot is pushing back into my left foot. My left foot is pushing forward into that right knee bend. And now let's slowly come up into Warrior Two. And I've changed kind of the relationship between my legs with each new posture. So now my arms ideally are parallel to the floor, palms could be up. And can I feel that right knee bend? Can I feel my left foot pushing my right knee forward? If I bend and straighten my right leg, can my left foot maintain that resistance, keeping that left leg strong? Breathe in, out. One more breath. And then slowly bring your hands to either side of your right foot. Lower the left knee for a lunge. And now I'm going to walk my hands back, pull my right toes back, and get a hamstring stretch in that right leg. Breathing in through the nose We can exhale through the ha or a sigh. Go ahead and lower the toes. And I'm going to step my left foot forward. So you could tuck the left toes under and give it a little spring, stepping that left foot forward. Take a moment and hang in a forward fold. Bring your hands onto your knees. Lift your heart, finding a chair. Pressing down into the feet. You could stretch your arms up. And then slowly come up to standing. And look down at your feet. Imagine, if you will, a square around your feet. So your feet aren't so far apart that it turns into a rectangle. If my toes were turned out, it sort of turned into a trapezoid-like shape, right? So I want to feel like I'm creating a square. And I feel the kind of four corners of each foot. I feel the four corners of each square, or of this square, right? And I want to bend my knees and just straighten my legs and try to feel for the square of my pelvis, where I have the back and the front of my pelvic area. And am I keeping that upright? Maybe one hand on the front, one hand on the back helps you feel better. So I'm just bending and straightening my knees and trying to feel, can I get the tailbone to stay connected to the back of my head and zip up my belly, maintain that nice vertical feeling? And then what if I just kind of de-emphasize the left leg and continue this movement using that right leg? And I should get a little of that tremble, right? A little bit of that shake. I'm going to push into my right leg. And then we could try de-emphasizing the other side. So now I'm bending both knees. My right heel might lift. I'm de-emphasizing that right leg. And now I'm trying to feel that left leg. And the sense of being centered, stable, as my leg trembles, I'm going up and down. And the last one. And then bending into both knees. Sit back into a chair, letting the arms come forward. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into a down dog and inhale. And then let's allow the right foot to be centered. And I'm going to take my left leg up and I'm going to start to kind of bounce into my right heel. And my left leg is moving because my right heel is lifting. And I've got the U between my index finger and thumb, grounding me so that I'm not putting the wear and tear into my shoulders. And one more, lifting that right heel up, and then step that left foot forward. My right knee and toes turned out a little bit so I could really get my right foot grounded. And then I can create more resistance, right? So if I'm pushing down into my whole right foot, I get really good resistance in my right leg. And I want to feel like, okay, my right leg is on, pushing my left knee forward. And then my left foot is on, sort of trying to push my left leg back. And I feel how my whole body responds. Now I've started low, but let's bring the left forearm to the left thigh. And I'm still doing this kind of minimal movement through my knee. It's not quite like I'm trying to get my left leg straight. But I'm pressing into my right foot. And my right foot and my left leg are kind of duking it out. And then I'm going to come up into warrior two. And again, as I come into this new position, this more vertical position, it becomes even more challenging, potentially, for me to create that dynamicness with my left leg in particular. Right? The right leg is strong, pressing that left knee forward. And the left knee just begins to activate by pushing back into the right foot. And you can have your palms up, taking neck and shoulders out of the equation. Just bringing that leg vitality, those awakened leg channels to life. Getting that energy moving. Good. Let's go ahead and slowly Circle the hands back down to the floor. Lower the right knee for a lunge. And then walk the hands back. Pull your left toes back. Hamstring stretch. Hanumasana. And I try to think again about the tailbone connecting to the back of my head. And then lowering the left toes. I'm going to step my right foot forward, enjoy a forward fold. And sliding the hands up to the knees, bend the knees, sit back into a chair. Option to have the arms coming forward. And sort of be aware of the square that your feet create on the earth. And as you're ready, you're going to exhale and then inhale, chair. We exhale up into Tadasana. Inhale, chair. Exhale. The knees don't have to totally straighten, but you want to get that sense of pressing into both legs. 2 more. Last one. Sitting into chair, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into down dog. Exhale into plank. Let's do that again. Down dog, inhale. Exhale, plank. Feel that connection between the thumb and your index finger connecting into the earth, right? That U between the thumb and index finger connecting into the earth. 2 more. Down dog to plank. Hold plank. One more breath. Slowly lower the knees and find a child's pose. Turning the palms up, forehead to the floor. Again, I'm going to get up and double check my technology, and I want to let you pause in your child's pose for a moment and return to a more natural breath. Fantastic. One more breath here. And then let's come out onto your tummy. Take a moment to feel the fronts of your thighs against the floor. Bring your hands under the shoulders. The elbows come back towards the waist. Tuck the chin slightly in. My legs might be a little bit wider so that I feel space around my lower back. As you inhale again, pull your thighs and the heels of your hands towards each other. Start to lift the head. And then as you're coming down, imagine pushing your hands forward, pushing your thighs back. Inhale, pulling the thighs into the floor, the heels of your hands pull back into the floor. We find our up dog. Exhale, pushing all 4 limbs apart. Inhale, drawing all 4 limbs towards each other, looking up. Exhale. Coming back down one more time. Looking up. Exhale. I'm going to bring my arms down alongside the body. I could have palms down, I could have palms up. And I'm going to very lightly lift my hips and just tap my pubic bone into the floor. Just very gently lift. Tap. If I can create a little bounce, a little rhythm. I do let my chin come to the floor. And last one, relax. Let's roll on to the right side. So I'm coming up onto my right elbow. I'm setting up for what will be a side plank. My knees are bent. I'm going to start to lift my hips. My shoulder is over my elbow. My elbow is about 45 degrees. Take the left arm up. Take your left leg, lift it up. Drawing the belly towards the spine, keeping the tailbone to the back of the head. Maybe you can grab your left ankle. And one more breath. And then slowly releasing the left ankle. Lower the hips. Take your right leg forward. Cross your right ankle in front of the left thigh. I'm going to use my right hand to push up, and I'm going to twist towards my left leg a little bit. And then I'm going to lower my right elbow back down. And you could come onto all fours. You could just lay onto your tummy. 3 breaths, child's pose even. Now you'll see me turn around if you're watching the camera, but you could just roll to your other side. I just like to be able to face towards the camera for auditory purposes. So now my left forearm, is at 45 degrees. As I lift my hips into this side plank on forearm, my left shoulder is over the left elbow. And let's just feel that outer left hip has to do some work, right, in order to stay here. So I want you to feel, okay, there's this push-pull. Again, I'm pressing down to get up. Take your right leg up into the air. Lift your right arm up. And then you have the option to engage the tummy and grab your right ankle. And the tailbone comes towards the back of the head. And I really have to kind of relax my lower left leg and get my left hip to fire here to keep me upright, in addition to abdominals. One more breath. When you lower the hips down, take that right leg and let's swing it forward so the right ankle crosses in front of the left knee. And then as I rise up onto my left hand, I turn towards that right leg a little bit. One more breath. Now from here, I'm going to have you come onto your backs. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We're going to do one more little tapping session. I want you to feel where your tailbone plugs into the floor. And I sort of imagine this like I'm, doing Morse code. So I'm going to tap my tailbone up and down. And I could do it slowly. But if I get kind of a nice rhythm, it feels a little bouncier. And I'm just letting my tailbone come up and down. I'm very aware of that tailbone connection. I'm just letting the hips come up and down fairly rapidly. I'm just breathing when I need to breathe, doing a little tap. Pressing down into your feet. Kind of feel again that square of your feet. Your feet can be closer to your hips. Tapping the tailbone to the earth. Last few. Keep feeling the square of your feet, pressing into the earth, tapping the tailbone. And then rest. Just notice how you feel. Now we'll finish with a little bit of heart opening, a little bit of twisting, and that'll lead us into our Shavasana. So letting the legs get a little bit wide, your arms could come up overhead. I'm going to start by bending my right knee, and I'm going to take my right knee across the body and roll all the way onto my left side. And my left foot is staying somewhat active. My right hip comes towards that left foot. Now I'm going to lead with my right hand. My right hand is going to start to reach back. I'm going to feel that tipping point where my knee starts to come up, and I return to my spine. And that right leg straightens out onto the mat. Now you could do it again to the same side. Bend the right knee, take the right leg across the body, roll onto that left side. I'm all the way on my left. And then my right knee even came to the floor. Now I'm going to circle my right arm back, and I kind of feel the tug as I'm pressing into my outer left foot, right? I do have to kind of be aware of that left leg. I feel the tug where my right knee comes up, my right shoulder comes back. And then we'll try it to the other side. So the left knee could bend. The left leg crosses the body. Again, I feel the pinky toe edge of my right foot. I feel my left hip kind of coming towards that right foot a little bit. There's some dynamic. And I've rolled all the way onto my right side. Now my left arm is going to start to reach back. And I feel, as I push down into my right foot, kind of the tipping point where my knee lifts, and then I get to return to my spine. And then we'll do it again to the left. So bending the left knee, rolling to the left, rolling onto the right, apologies. And then taking that left arm and stretching the left arm back towards the left corner of your mat. Feeling that point where the leg lifts, and then you return. Now you can alternate sides and just sort of keep going. You could go a little faster if you want to. You could keep it slow. We'll just go for a few more seconds. So maybe it'll be one more time to either side. Maybe it'll be many, right? And then return onto your back. If you need to hug your legs in or do anything else to bring your body to a final balanced state, that's fine. If you want to just do a little shaking on the floor, a little bouncing. I like to hook my heels into the floor and just let my skin kind of move up and down the mat. So I'm letting the back of my skull kind of relax. I get a little massage, a little rub there. I feel my shoulders drop back, and as I can even use my hands to create this movement, but I can feel the skin of my shoulders kind of getting looser, the back of my arms, the back of the ribs, the whole spine gets a little rubbed down, especially that tailbone, that sacrum, the back of the thighs. I can feel the back of the knees and the calves and the ankles, and then I'm just going to let my body relax into stillness. And just see yourself laying on the ground, maybe of a beautiful forest or open grass plain or garden, a place that is peaceful for you. Maybe it's a place you know. Maybe you've seen photos of it, or it's just in your imagination. And just feel your connection to the earth in that place. Feel that peaceful relationship to the earth, the sense of support, the sense of even releasing into that support, letting go. And feel yourself going down as though you could sink gently into some softer place. Keep dropping back, getting softer and softer. Stay where you are. Continue resting deeply. I want you to imagine yourself when you were a child. So a young, maybe even infant self. And I want you to be aware of what words you would use to comfort your infant, your youthful self. And imagine yourself offering this infant you those words, that comfort, that feeling. And just feel that need for safety, for security, for comfort, to be satiated, to feel so good. And as you start to come back into the room that you're in, onto your mat, you bring that feeling with you. It is in you. You can start to move your fingers and your toes. You can yawn and stretch. Start to awaken the body to movement. Roll to your side. Come sitting upright. And as you join your palms together at your heart, you join them with gratitude from your heart. When we bow in this practice, we bow to the wisdom within. Thankful for whatever we learned today in our practice. Thank you so much for joining me in grounding and energizing our leg channels and opening our hips. I enjoyed teaching it. I hope that you enjoyed practicing it as well. Namaste.